And here we go, spawning up at the top right, representing Mouse Sports. It is a man whose size is incomparable. Give it up for Big Gabe, HeroMarine.
His opponent in the bottom left in the red for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He is Zest.
And he has gone for a 12 pylon, a 13 gateway. He's rallying the second probe to that second gas. It is going to be proxy void rays to start it off. And HeroMarine, he's gone for the fake proxy racks. Now, this is very bad in the sense of where his wall is, but it is very good in the sense that he is going to be opening up double gas. This is funny. I feel like we don't see Zest go for proxy void rays very often in this matchup. I'm very interested to see what how he executes it.
I think a big reason that we see Zest doing this in this game is strictly because he does not do it. And Zest, okay, he will scout with the barracks positioning. And yes, double gas is a big deal, but HeroMarine needs to see what's happening. He needs to figure that out. But it looks like Zest's actually just going to give up on this. He says, okay, well, you open double gas. That's going to be a quick factory. I'm just not going to proxy. I'm going to accept that maybe I'm a little bit behind, but it's going to be fine. Stalker is on the way. And where does Zest go from here? I feel like you commit to the 11th pylon, that second gas this early. You gotta find some way to spend it, right?
Yeah, if it's just the one gas. Oh, he's gonna recall the probe. Ah, cool. Okay, that's cute. And I actually really like that. It is worthwhile. A lot of people are like, no, the chrono boost is more valuable. And it's like, well, no, actually it's not. The probe costs actual money. And the amount you make up for with the mining, it is worthwhile. And there's also something to be said for saying, haha, no, you don't get to kill my probe. I keep it alive.
That it is, and especially in this game where Zest is only on one base right now, he has not committed. It's going to just be a standard Stargate. It's not going to be proxied, which means Oracle's showing up at the normal time. And it's like, yes, Zest is just going to go into the play that we were talking about. Although, said best, the bad news for you, of course, is that I think you said this was going to be Oracle into Blink, that build that he's been killing the meta with every game. That's not what's going to happen. But look at this. This is the second, third 2-1-1 in a row that we've had in this matchup.
Except that this is a little different. Yeah, there's no command center here. This is a one base build that HeroMarine is going for. I am a little bit speechless right here. Now, HeroMarine might be thinking that it's still the proxy void rays. He's just now going to see the Nexus, and he's going to be like, okay, all right. And I think he just has to commit to this one base push. We're going to see the supply depot a little bit late, so this medevac gets delayed just a tiny bit. And anytime you're going for one base timing, seconds matter. They absolutely massively matter. Zest, he's going to get across the map. Oh, hallucinated Oracle. That's kind of cute. But he needs to, more than anything, scout that there's no natural.
Which actually, I don't know that he's going to be able to do here. Oracles, in the hallucinated fashion, they just die very quickly. He's going to see the Marines out. He's going to see the tanks out. That's going to be something. And look at this. It's hallucinated Oracle into an actual double Oracle build. There's no way that HeroMarine expects this. Well, he sees the Stargate now, and with no Phoenix on the field, that's probably going to be what he's looking for. The question now, though, is how much damage does he get? With the Void Ray out on the map soon enough. Actually, did he cancel that? Oh, he did. Okay. But with the two Oracles flying in the main base here. You know what? Actually, this is interesting. So we have a Cyclone out on the field. It's going to be defensive at home. SCVs are getting pulled as we have Vikings on the way as well. We're going to see one Oracle pop down, but no, the Cyclone, he gets killed instead. Oracles do so much DPS, and that means there is going to be no reinforcements out of this for just a little bit, but the Vikings here now, and that is going to be all that matters. But Steadfast, a wrench has been thrown into HeroMarine's plan. He pulled just enough SCVs to make sure he could repair while still making money. Losing a couple more, it makes this, it's all in, but it makes it an even less impactful all in.
I actually think that that's pretty good for HeroMarine. Now, Zest makes a very wise decision, pulls away from the natural with those probes, but the fact that he canceled that Void Ray initially is so incredibly bad for Zest. He had initially a very good read on this. Now he doesn't really know what's up. These tanks are going to be in a nasty position on the natural ram. And this is very scary. We are going to see battery overcharge getting popped. I don't like that HeroMarine committed to the high ground. I think he should be lifting up these Marines to get back to the low ground. He does have SCVs kind of body blocking the tank. That is really nice, keeping these Zealots off of it. Zest does target fire down eventually, and the Viking will go down thanks to the Void Rays. And Zest, he is going to initially hold. It's very nice that he's kept his probes alive. If this goes into a macro game somehow, having those alive is going to be very handy, but the big problem is this push. He got one of those tanks. I like this so far for Zest. The shield batteries are very, very crucial.
Yeah, the big news said, oh, look what the Void Rays go for here. They realize that the Cyclone is locked on the shield battery, so that's the timing that they're going to choose to try to make something happen. Of course, the Cyclone is the scariest component of this push for HeroMarine right now that Zest is going to have to deal with. But there we go, Cyclones, they're going to lock on a gateway, so which means no more production from that warp gate. It's going to go down to 2 gate plane, not 3. But it is so hard, Steadfast, for HeroMarine to push through up onto the high ground with 3 Void Rays with a sentry. But now it looks like Zest wants to go for the break right now. Shield battery overcharge is popped. That's why he goes for the break right here, right now. The tank goes down. Marines, they're firing. We're going to see 1 Void Ray fall. But man, knocking down a Cyclone, knocking down a tank, knocking down a Viking makes this push so much less scary for the biggest of games. Now Zest, he is so content to move out right now. We're going to see the medevac go down as well. Sure, Void Rays might die, but that should be enough here. It's only Marines. Although with the tank staging up on the backside, maybe Zest gets baited out here a little.
I still really, really like this position for Zest. He has broken the momentum of this push. HeroMarine is going to back off because he really has no choice. If he tries to keep pushing, he's just going to lose the game. But because Zest saved all those probes from earlier, once he re-expands, which is going to be basically as soon as he gets back up to 400 minerals, he is going to have such a roaring economy relative to that of HeroMarine. Now, Zest does take a bloody nose. I like the way HeroMarine did this, setting up these tanks in the middle of the map, just kind of setting a trap. But he gets 1 Stalker, and that's not enough. He needed to do so much more. We are going to see this drop in the main base coming on in. He did pick off the medevac, and but HeroMarine's going to take down the Stalker and Void Ray that were here initially. We see the probes will start to fall, but only 2 of them go down, and that was not enough damage for HeroMarine. He needs so much more.
Yeah,
in fact, he's not expanding. He's just committing.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no world where HeroMarine is able to macro out of this. He has not gotten enough damage to make that worthwhile in the slightest. And Steadfast, how do you feel about the addition of multiple oracles in this defense? He's not stopping at 1. He's getting a 2nd. And on the one hand, hey, you knock at the Marines, the oracles do significant anti-ground damage, but Zest is actually going to run across the map with this, just looking to say, hey, if you had any chance of coming out of this, no, I'm just going to kneecap you. You don't get to mine anymore. So the tanks, the Marines, they're going to be forced home. He's going to target down the mule immediately, though. That was a fresh one indeed. And there are just not a lot of Marines here. It's only 3. And sure, maybe more will pop out in a second. Medevac is like a hot pickup. And the Oracle's starting to run out of energy here. Oh, look at this micro from HeroMarine. I don't think it makes enough of a difference. In fact, HeroMarine, he's forced to return home.
He is going to get the Oracle, which is nice, but the thing is, this has bought Zest so much time. Now, I will say, Zest, he made a very mature decision. I don't know if he started the Nexus, but if he did, he canceled it. He's just long-distance mining with these probes. The only thing about that is that means that HeroMarine is actually in an okay spot economically, despite a massive difference in workers. He's not being outmined that badly, but the Oracle is going to come in. The second one, initially, I didn't like it, but this is something that HeroMarine did not expect 100%, and now there's no mining whatsoever. Pretty much all these SCVs are going to fall. The boys have been pulled, the rest of them, and this is going to be Zest basically once again turtling up at his main base. There are 4 tanks, which does make this actually surprisingly scary, and this is where the fact that Zest didn't build Void Rays, this actually makes it a big problem. HeroMarine could still win this game.
Yeah, Zest has half his army on the map as well, knocking down reinforcements, but there are no reinforcements to be had. There is no income. HeroMarine literally not mining, spending the last of his money on repairs. SCV's going on the high ground, looking to bust HeroMarine through. Starts on the backside. They're going to take a massive tank volley. HeroMarine, though, he's not really leading an army supply just yet. The Viking's going to go down as well, so a lot less anti-air to deal with these Void Rays that are now on the map once again. The tank sieging up. All Zest has to do is buy some time, but he does not want to move in the tank shots like that. We're going to see them target fire down all of these Stalkers. Start the Marines. They're winning the fight on the top side. All of a sudden, Zest does not want this fight. It is only 2 Void Rays that remain, and production is fine. But we're going to see one gateway get depowered. Actually, no, it's not. I guess there's another pylon just there, but it is only Zealots now. There is no charge. 2 tanks are sieged up. The Void Rays are gonna have to do what they can. Zealots as well, but out of a defeat, HeroMarine finds a victory. GG.
The lack of shield battery overcharge during that fight. Zest took for granted that he was only on 1 Nexus. He didn't have the energy. Those shield batteries, they were all out of energy. He couldn't cast battery overcharge, which meant that the tanks couldn't be dove on by those Void Rays. Huge win for HeroMarine. HeroMarine does it with a 10, almost 11-minute, 1 base push. Zest, his economy was in shambles because he didn't expand. HeroMarine, he was fine. He was like, yeah, I'm on 1 base. So are you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly feel that forcing the SCVs out of HeroMarine's base at the end of that game, I don't know how many of them made it to the fight, but they gave Zest the impression that maybe there's some reinforcements. We saw those Stalkers way outside of the base, trying to knock down reinforcements that were not coming, but it did distract the Stalkers long enough, especially if it was just an A-move scenario where Zest was on the map saying, okay, look, I'll deal with your reinforcements. There can't be a lot. So by the time he moved in, 4 tanks were already sieged up. The Stalkers move in on the bottom side first. They all explode. 4 tanks just say, you cannot fight that for those Stalkers. And then it was just one flank, then the other. HeroMarine only having to fight part of the army at any given time. And then the SCVs join. There's just enough buffer. And HeroMarine, a game that I had given up on him, finds a way to make it work. And now that means HeroMarine is up 1-0 in this series.
He is, yeah. After Zest dealt with this so well, and initially I praised Zest not taking the Nexus, but the fact that he wasn't able to run away with the economy was a huge problem for him. And the fact that he didn't have enough energy, enough Nexus energy to always have a battery overcharge available. What I think I would have liked to see from Zest, once the Oracle came across the map, the second one, and he forced all the SCVs to not mine, completely denied his opponent of mining, warp in sentries. Warp in sentries, hold the ramp, keep building Void Rays, keep building sentries. If HeroMarine goes up the ramp, you cut his army in half, you pick it off with the Void Rays. Even the sentries additional DPS is helpful. But yeah, things go the way they go. HeroMarine takes game 1 with an amazing build. He is so prepared for Katowice. I am so hyped for Big Gabe right now.
Absolutely. So we're going to have to see what he has in store for us in this second game. 2,000 Atmospheres is the map. We're all loaded in. Steadfast, take it away.
Here we go, spawning up in the top right, representing Mouse Sports. It is the Blue Terran player, HeroMarine.
His opponent in the bottom left in the red. He's down 1 off of an almost hold for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. The Kingslayer, Zest.
Man, the decision-making from HeroMarine was so good right there. Just the initial time when he pulled back, if he hadn't done so I was saying like, oh man, this game is like kind of over, like he has to pull back, and I was saying this is the only way he could win this game. I really genuinely believed that he would still lose. I thought he was dead, but if he had continued to push after all the tanks were dead on that first initial push, he is almost certainly dead in that game, and he doesn't have the chance to win it 4 minutes later. But he gets the tank camp out back up, recognizes that Zest doesn't actually have that much stuff to deal with tanks. Zest, the commitment, he made 4 oracles in that game. That is so many oracles to build. And I really think that 4th oracle and the fact that he canceled that first Void Ray may have been the deciding factors in that game.
Yeah, and Steadfast, when we got out of that game, you were talking about how good sentries would have been, which I don't disagree. Sentries would have been fantastic. Just buy more time. Your opponent's not mining. but he warped in 4 Zealots at the end, and I didn't get a chance to see the gas count. But if you're warping in Zealots instead of Stalkers, in that sort of situation right there, that kind of makes me think that the gas count was super low. So I don't know whether he had the money actually to make sure that he could prevent things from happening. But this is game 2. It is a different game. We're not going to see HeroMarine proxy anything, but he is opening up with a, what was this? Actually, this was a factory expand coming out from HeroMarine, but it's on the high ground is the command center. That's the really big deal. He doesn't want to suffer some shenanigans from Zest after he inflicted the same in game 1.
Certainly he does not, but Zest looks like he might have shenanigans on the mind. He is building no tech, straight into 3 gateways. We've got Chrono Boost on the Warp Gate. This is looking like an aggressive push coming out of Zest. HeroMarine, he's opening up with very interesting opener right here. He does Reactor Hellions. Okay, got to check Zest's vision. Does he see this? He does see the Reactor Hellions. That's all he's seen. He might be thinking that this is some kind of proxy starport or some kind of highly aggressive Hellion run-by build, but it's just the 2 Hellions with a very quick stim. We're seeing a lot of this 2 racks quick stim play already today. This is now the 2nd game we've seen it. We saw it from Bunny versus Straya once again here.
And this is old. I don't understand. I mean, I guess part of it's maybe the double bluff, but Zest, he's chosen to hallucinate oracles just about, I mean, in 2 games that we've seen him do it, and part of it, okay, oracles are a little bit faster. I think it's the same amount of hallucination energy, but oracles, they are a little bit faster than maybe make the Terran player think that, okay, well, you know, this is something a little bit different. But on the flip side, they die really quickly. It's easier to deny the scout. But for now, Zest knows what HeroMarine is doing. We have a Warp Prism on the way. 2nd hallucinated oracle. Again, it's just different.
Yeah, it's only 20 HP more, which, I mean, for the Phoenix, that is. But Zest, he's confident in his control. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm just going to scout you well. I'm not going to fall for this. This, oh my God, this is actually just a straight up 2-1-1. This is a straight up 2-1-1 like it's TVZ, like he's beyond. And I will say I do like the hallucinated oracle because it was a bit of a mind game in the previous game. He did open Stargate actually. He did actually open Stargate in the previous game. And that's the kind of thing that could make HeroMarine overreact. Maybe he forces an SCV pull with that first thing. That's a little bit of damage that a hallucinated Phoenix just is incapable of getting. But we got to talk about what is actually coming out of Zest. It's a little Stalker hit squad. 4 Stalkers, that's going to be enough to one-shot SCVs.
Yeah, but Stim is already done. We have a decent amount of bio here on the map. 16 Marines, and he's going to get a couple right now. Delay this 3rd barracks for just a little bit, but there is too much bio here. He's not going to get too much of anything done. Maybe a little bit fast there. There is no army in HeroMarine's base anymore, and the Stalkers, they're going to find some significant value. HeroMarine, what exactly are you doing? But okay, Marines, they're going to show up here in a tank as well. This might buy enough time. 7 workers go down, but by the same metric, that there are no units in HeroMarine's base. There's not a lot here for Zest as well, but there is a Colossus. There are a couple Stalkers. I do not see this getting nearly the same amount of damage that HeroMarine, that Zest is getting on the other side of the map. As again, SCVs get pulled. I cannot help but feel like this was a mistake, Steadfast, but we're gonna have to see.
Well, the thing is, I actually like the move, and this is a move that HeroMarine does a lot. He will... Okay, we'll talk about that in a little bit. There's still a little bit more action happening here. These Stalkers are really finding huge amounts of damage. Only 1 Stalker just now going down. Immaculate Warp Prism Micro from Zest. Also, it's worth noting, Zest is not building more probes. He's not taking an additional base just yet. Okay, there we go. 3rd Nexus finally comes on down. He still hasn't powered his probe count up that high. He's going for a very quick Warp Prism speed with this. Hey, he decides, yeah, you're going to build a Viking soon. I'll just recall this out, get my recall back off cooldown as quickly as possible. Oh, no. He wants to swap it out. It is going to be a Colossus drop. But I wanted to note there's something that HeroMarine does when he's on the defense. And that is, once he's pushed away a Warp Prism, he loves to just load up and go. Load up and go with his units, and Zest was anticipating that, had the hallucination, watching for that, was able to get that in position and check and spot HeroMarine's move. And it's because of that that Zest was able to so confidently move back in. We're going to see this Colossus dropping right on top of the Marines. A little bit bold, but it's actually the Colossus that takes a lot of damage, not the Warp Prism, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, I guess It's 6 one way, half dozen the other. That Colossus getting fairly low now. Hard to make something happen. And we are seeing double Viking coming out of HeroMarine in this game. He's content with the amount of medevacs that he has, which is 2. He understands how heavy Zest's commitment to Colossus is. So we might even see him go for a decently timed timing here with going up to 6, 7, 8 Vikings just to make sure that something happens. But for now, Zest is going to find his way into the National once again. The Vikings will already find this. And notice they're going to target fire down the Warp Prism exclusively. You can dodge Viking shots with the Colossus. The Warp Prism, not so lucky. So for now, Zest, he's zoned out. He committed to early Warp Prisms. Oh, HeroMarine with the booster. Is he going to find this? No, not quite. Boost on cooldown, actually.
Boost was on cooldown, yeah. That Warp Prism speed is so insane. Now, this is a 2-base all-in out of HeroMarine. He's not building SCVs. The Vikings are so expensive. He's committing to tanks, Marauders, Vikings off 2 bases. Like you said, only 2 medevacs. This is a heavily committed build. HeroMarine has come very prepared for Zest. Extended Thermal Lance not done. This is a big problem.
Extended Thermal Lance not even started. He committed to Warp Prism speed. 1 Colossus getting very low. Nice pickup, though. We'll dodge the Viking. He's dodging the Viking shots, but he gets another one. Oh, God, but 1 Colossus is finally dead. Warp Prism going down. The Colossus going down as well. And what can Zest do now? There's so much bio here. Vikings are going to land more and more Warpins. We do have charge at the very least. So these Zealots, they're not paper. They have some sense of utility. But the 3rd base, there is no saving it. There's a misrally tank. Zest is going to try to maybe jump on top of that, but Zest is not best in this game. Number 2, HeroMarine with the excellent timing, the excellent idea about how to play this game. There are 5 tanks on the other side of the map. Maybe some Archon's going to try to do something here, but as HeroMarine, he's up 20, he's up 30 army supply. There's not a lot left for Zest in this game.
HeroMarine has come ready to play. We are going to see the battery overcharge, able to help Zest keep the Immortal alive, but there's just not enough units on the map. HeroMarine, well, the Archon's actually tanking very effectively, and some good target fire on the Immortal, getting a lot of tanks, will clear out a lot of HeroMarine's army, but now he's out of shield battery energy, he's out of units. There are still a lot of gateways on the map. Zest making a miraculously good hold in the natural. But is it a hold long-term? I don't think so. The main problem right now for HeroMarine, medevac energy. What shows up? 2 more medevacs. Doesn't go for Liberators, just is going to keep his army's survivability alive. Still has 3 tanks in a nasty position to deal with.
Steadfast, you say it's looking like a good hold for Zest, and maybe it was a little bit better than expected, but that Immortal flank is never going to happen here. HeroMarine, he's chasing it down. Yeah, sure, the hold's been decent, but is it not good? Actually, wait, no, he's going to force it back. HeroMarine, he's going to lift up here. The Zealots may be a little bit too scary. Now the hot pickup on the Archons. He's going to try to get something, and he's only going to get a Viking, but now Zest, it is his turn to get maybe aggressive here at the rally of HeroMarine. It's coming in, and as good as that hold was for Zest, and as close as it may have been, look at the supplies, Steadfast. It is a 70 to 30 army supply lead here, 40 in the advantage of the Terran. The Archon and Immortal drop, at the very least, some production is going to be delayed.
It certainly is, and HeroMarine is committing to 2 more barracks. He is not going to macro out of this. He wants this game right here, right now. Getting bunched up a little bit is HeroMarine. Zest, he is fighting for his life right now, and he's going to spot this command center lifting up. That's going to allow HeroMarine to take advantage of the extra SCVs he had. Zest. Oh, the Liberator in the main base. Zest not actually... Okay, there we go. Will respond to it now. Doesn't... a little bit bunched up. There we go. Fixes that. Shield battery does manage to just barely keep that Stalker alive. Wow. Shield battery fully drained, but, you know, does its job. Storm is going to be completed, but there's a lot of tanks and Marauders and that Liberator. Zest is in huge trouble right now. I really don't like the Liberators being used for harass. Keep it with the main army. Why are you harassing your opponents on 2 bases?
Yeah, I wonder whether HeroMarine thinks he's closer in this game than he actually is, right? Like, if we look at this supply, we're like, wow, HeroMarine's up 50 supply. He's up 50, 45 army supply. And we're going to have to see how good these storms are. They're in the Warp Prism moving forward. We're going to see 1 storm get dropped, but it's only on the tanks. The Zealot's getting on top of that as well. Actually, no. The Zesty's targeting these tanks down with a storm. Those are the linchpin, but the Liberators, they seem to have everything. Freedom for HeroMarine and top of the group, GG.